everyone, my name is Melissa Strange and today I'm going to be recapping for you Season 5 of Orange is the New Black because Season 6 comes out this freaking Friday and I'm sure you're just as excited as I am, so let's get into the recap. Season 5 starts off with the cliffhanger ending that was left for us from Season 4 with Daya holding a gun to CO Humphrey's head with all of the other inmates around screaming and yelling to shoot him. If you want a full recap of Season 4, you can actually click right here or the first link in my description to see a recap of Season 4. The reason why the inmates are so upset is because Warden Caputo failed to mention Pusey's name when he gave a media statement about her death, as well as failed to arrest C.O. Bailey for murdering her. While Daya is holding the gun to C.O. Humphrey's head, he is trying to relate to her by speaking Spanish, but she actually doesn't speak Spanish, and she was getting frustrated with everyone yelling, so she ends up shooting him, aiming for his dick, but she misses and hits him in the thigh, and he's bleeding everywhere. Piper and Alex have decided that the drama is no longer for them, and they are going to live the rest of their sentences out peacefully and quietly together and not be involved in drama. So as soon as they hear all the kerfuffle of the riot, they find a restroom nearby that seems private and they, hang out in there. But not soon after that they're in the bathroom, they hear a cell phone ringing or vibrating. It turns out Linda Ferguson from MCC, also known as Warden Caputo's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend now, is hanging out in the stall hiding in a visitor badge, full clothed outfit. She clearly doesn't belong at Litchfield. So they decide to help her, disguise and blend in with the inmates. She comes up with the name Amelia Von Barlow and is the counterfeit cunt of Connecticut, and she's gonna live the riot out as an inmate. The inmates are trying to take over different areas of the prison, claiming them for themselves, So you have like Big Boo and Pennsatucky who have taken over the commissary. You have Lorna and Nikki who are trying to take over the medical cabinet drug distribution area, which currently is being guarded by the meth heads Leanne and Angie. You have Red taking over Piscatella's office, trying to find some dirt on him. Brooke Soso and Judy King have the library. And Daya, because she has the gun, is basically in charge of everything at the moment. Though Maria Ruiz offers to take that burden from her, Daya says no, she's got the gun, she can handle it. Tasty, Black Cindy, Allison, and Watson all go to Warden Caputo's office to demand that he redoes his media speech and says Pusey's name and arrests C.O. Bailey, but turns out all of the camera crews are gone and it's only Warden Caputo and Josh from MCC's PR department that are still there, and they basically demand that he fixes this. So they use an iPad to film a proper announcement about Pusey's death, and with the help from Josh, they upload it to Twitter. Burset reluctantly helps out C.O. Humphrey with his gunshot wound, and episode 1 ends with Daya being hit on the head. Clearly someone is trying to steal her gun. Episode 2, Fuck, Marry, Frida, we get the flashback life story of Frida, and turns out she was basically a mole person growing up and has a hidden bunker underneath the prison that she has been clearly stalking for years. It's insane. The prisoners are holding hostage all of the guards that were remaining in the prison while the riot broke out. A group of the Hispanic inmates are actually performing strip searches in front of a ton of the inmates in the chapel on the guards. They also give out the inmates the contraband collected cell phones that they have now back in their possession. The video that Tasty uploaded to Twitter saying Pusey's name and demanding that C.O. Bailey gets arrested actually has turned into a big joke. Hashtag Black Lattes Matter, because Black Cindy is seen in the back drinking a latte and they're realizing that people just see them as a big joke. C.O. Humphrey is in the medical ward in between Crazy Eyes and Cacudio, who both look like they've been through hell because he forced them to fight each other. And now they are laying there. He looks like also a bucket of garbage, and he actually ends up having a stroke. Red is snooping in Piscatella's office for some dirt on him with Blanca, and she is high on meth, basically. She's high on speed of some sort of amphetamine. Pretty funny. She ends up finding a binder filled with photos of Piscatella dressed up in theme with tables that he is also dressed, and she's going to use that as some, ammo against him and post the pictures across the prison so people make fun of him and don't take him as seriously. Daya is pretending to still have the gun, although she doesn't have it, she lost it, she doesn't know who has it. Tasty takes a photo of all the hostages and uploads that to Twitter in hopes that they will take her more seriously and, do something about C.O. Bailey and Pusey's death. In episode 3, called Pisters, C.O. Bailey is struggling with the fact that he killed Pusey. He actually goes to a police station, confesses that he murdered someone, and all they do is throw him into the drunk tank for the night. MCC finds out that Judy King is still in Litchfield, and they are like, do not storm Litchfield, do not do anything, let's hear their demands, let's do something and just get the hostages and Judy out safely. But when Judy King tries to escape on her own, a group of white supremacists steal her. Linda, trying to blend in with the inmates, ends up befriending Big Boo and then helps bring a bucket of food to the hostages, where she sees Caputo and Caputo sees her, and he realizes, uh-oh, they've got my girlfriend, and the situation is serious. Crazy Eyes freaks out that people are standing on the spot that Pusey died in, so she shoos everyone away and sets up a border around the spot, and that's now the sacred space of the prison. In episode 4, Litchfield's Got Talent, Leanne and Angie, the meth heads, are going around pantsing everyone, and when they pants Gloria Mendoza, they find the gun. It falls out of her pants. She stole it from Daya, probably because Daya's mama Leda asked her to look out for Daya, and she knew that Daya was in over her head with having the gun in her possession. Now that Angie has the gun, looks like the meth heads are in charge. Piper and Alex have moved out of the prison and are now living on the field, trying to escape everything. And some of the other inmates actually follow and start looking up to Alex as like a leader of the non-rioters. Crazy Eyes and Cucudio, as well as Tasty and her friends, have a seance to communicate with Pusey. Red and Blanca find a file in Piscatella's office explaining that he killed a male inmate at the prison he previously worked at. Ugh. Leanne and Angie force the hostage guards to perform a talent show for everyone. Now, I don't usually give my opinion when I give these recaps, I'm just trying to give you the facts, but honestly, I didn't like it. It was boring, it was stupid. That's all I had to think about that episode. So the white supremacist inmates plus Yoga Jones and DeMarco all think that Judy King is having some special delivery of food dropped to her via helicopter on the roof. So they have forced her to a board, like a cross, and they are taking her around until the drop is made. And when they make it up to the rooftop where the supposed drop is happening, there is actually a helicopter, but it's not the helicopter Judy lied about. It was actually a news reporter, and MCC is not too happy to see that their queen, Judy King, is on the rooftop in what looks like a terrorist attack. Brissette leaves the prison, surrendering, take me to Max, because she wants to find out if Sister Ingalls is okay and what's going on with her because she's in Max. But to Brissette's a happy surprise, Sister has actually been let out on compassionate release. She fell ill when she was put in Max, and now she's out. She's probably either really sick or dead though, which sucks. In episode 5, the news reports about Judy King's supposed terrorist attack at Litchfield has the governor and MCC going crazy, so the governor sends his own special team to deal with the situation. Now the meth heads, Leanne and Angie, can't find where they put the gun, so who knows who has the gun again. The white supremacist inmates end up trading Judy King to Black Cindy for some like Lisa Frank stickers and one of those baby calendar things. So Tasty and her friends actually clean up Judy King and have her prepare a speech to give to the media about the unjust ways they are being kept inside the prison. And when Judy goes to give the speech, Tasty actually cuts her off and says, you know what, no, you're not telling our story. You were given special privileges the whole time you were here. You don't know what it's like to be strip searched and starve and tortured like we are, so I'm gonna tell my story. Take Judy, and she actually frees Judy. She says, you know, we're not even gonna keep you as a hostage anymore. You can go away. We don't want you. CEO Coates, aka Donuts, actually didn't get captured when the riot happened by the other prisoners. He's just kind of been hiding, and that's Pensatucky's like boyfriend guard guy. So they're like talking in the laundry, and she's telling him, you gotta get out of here, when Leanne and Angie find him and want to take him to the hostage bubble. So Pensatucky follows closely behind and notices the gun in Angie's belt. So Pensatucky takes the gun from Angie and says, you know, get out of here, and shoots Leanne's finger by accident, throws the gun to Coates, and he runs away with the gun and escapes the prison. And he actually ends up fainting when he leaves the prison because of all of the officers outside pointing guns at him, holding a gun. In episode 6, the inmates hold a trial to decide what to do with Pensatucky since she just gave away their gun, let a guard escape, and shot Leanne. They end up giving her community service. and have her, you know, just give back to the community rather than throw her in the poo, which is these outhouses that they are throwing all the misbehaving guards in as punishment. The governor sends a giant box of hot Cheetos, Takis, and tampons to the inmates because that was one of the things on their list of demands. Morello tells Nikki that she thinks she's pregnant, and Nikki is like, girl, you're crazy. You're always just crazy, crazy, crazy. C.O. Bailey tries to kill himself by drinking dog hair dye, which is actually non-toxic, and his parents are like, you need help, and he's very excited by that news because he's been begging for someone to help him and nobody has been. Frida introduces her bunker to a handful of select inmates, including Yoga Jones, DeMarco, Norma, and Mendoza. The inmates then realize the hot Cheeto Taki tampon box was more of a bribe than anything, and they give everything back, but instead of just like actually giving it back, they set it on fire. Flamin' hot Cheetos. In episode 7, Crazy Eyes hasn't been taking her meds and she's starting to fall into a psychotic break. Red and Blanca decide that they are going to try to lure Piscatella into the prison to try to get some sort of confession out of him about murdering this inmate that he killed, but they need to get into CEO Humphrey's phone, which they have, and they don't know the password, so Red decides to cut off his thumb so she can unlock the phone whenever she wants, and it's gross. The prisoners are trying to get along pretty peacefully. They have like a hallway that they're trading stuff in, they have a coffee shop, everything seems to be going on pretty well. So even turns a hallway into a memorial site for Poussey by making like this beautiful library type structure. It's very beautiful. Morello makes a sign and holds it up on the roof to her husband, who is outside watching with a bunch of other family members, saying that she has a lasagna in the oven, meaning she's pregnant, and he freaks out and leaves. And the peace in the prison doesn't last long because they run out of coffee and another riot breaks out within the riot. In episode 8, Daya's mom Aleda is doing a news report with Judy King when Judy King says that one of the guards was shot by an inmate who doesn't speak Spanish but is Spanish, and Aleda realized that's her daughter, that's Daya. Red explains to Nikki that she is trying to, alongside Blanca, you know, lure Piscatella in and what her reasoning is, and Nikki is like, you are crazy, you're on drugs, you need to stop. And she vows to help Red sober up the same way that Red has helped her time and time again. The governor and MCC send Figueroa, you know Fig, the old warden of Litchfield? Yeah, they send her to help with negotiations with the prisoners, and when she basically shuts Tasty down, Tasty is ready to fight and has all of the facts and tells her what it is and what they need, because now she has the internet, she can look shit up. But then Fig finds out that a guard was shot, and she's like, that is all off the table unless you can give me the person who shot the guard, because you told me nobody was injured. They have to then convince Daya to confess. Before Daya confesses, though, she actually calls Pornstash's mom and tells her that her baby isn't dead, because I don't know if you remember this, but Aleda had called Pornstash's mom and said that Daya had a daughter and she died, or sorry, had a son and he died, but actually she had a daughter. So Daya asks her to go and get her from foster care and take care of her because she's not going to be able to. After Pornstash's mom agrees to taking care of her daughter for her, she turns herself in for shooting C.O. Humphrey. In episode 9, Piscatella has made his way into the prison and is kidnapping inmates. Mendoza finds out that her son got jumped and he's like in a coma. He's not doing very good. So she goes to Caputo, who is locked in one of the outhouse porta potty things, and begs him to let her go on a furlough. And he's laughing and he's like, this is a riot, there's nothing I can do for you. But maybe if you go to my office and call whatever it is, MCC, that someone there could help you. She makes a deal with someone on the phone that if she can help release the hostages, they will help her go see her son. Piscatella continues to kidnap inmates. He's got Piper, he's got Alex, he's got Big Boo, he's got Nikki, he's got Blanca. And then Red finds a map that Frida had left for her to find the bunker, which actually ends up leading her right to where the kidnapped family members of hers are, and she realizes that Piscatella has made his way in the building and has got her family. Most of them are really injured or like knocked out, and Red is trying to free them, but then Piscatella shows up. In episode 10, Tasty gets Caputo to help her with the negotiations with Fig. Piscatella is straight up torturing Red in front of her family by cutting off her hair, and not just cutting her hair, but straight up scalping her. It's horrifying. Piper manages to get the duct tape off of her mouth and is screaming for help, which alerts Gina, who is in the bunker, and she comes up to see what's going on and like through a locker like peeks in and sees that her family is being tortured and is filming it. Alex tries to attack Piscatella because he is torturing Red, and he ends up grabbing her and breaking her arm. So Gina helps lure Piscatella into the bunker where Frida hits him with a dart, some sort of tranquilizer dart. And it turns out that C.O. Humphrey is actually dead. Cucudio blew bubbles of air into his IV. In episode 11, Red and the girls are trying to figure out what they are going to do with Piscatella, who they have tied to a chair. But since Red just wants revenge and wants to just kill him, they decide to also tie Red to a chair before she does something she's gonna regret. So Mendoza's trying to help the hostages escape by putting them all into the outhouses. She's telling them to just go with it. And when Maria Ruiz catches on that Mendoza's up to something, she tells her what she's doing. And then Maria Ruiz decides that she wants to leave and go see her baby, so she ends up cutting the fence and freeing all the inmates and taking the glory from Gloria Mendoza. In episode 12, Tattoo You, turns out Morello is actually pregnant. She's taken like a dozen pregnancy tests, they're all positive. So she is so panicked, and Nikki, who absolutely loves Morello, calls Morello's husband and says, like, you need to step it up, you got her pregnant, I know she's crazy, you must be crazy too for being with her, but she's pregnant and you need to step up. Maria Ruiz explains the deal that was made about letting out the hostages to the MCC and the governor's people, and they've never heard of this deal, and, you know, they said, we'll try to help you, but that's not what letting the hostages out was about. Since Gina actually filmed Piscatella breaking Alex's arm, they have uploaded it to the internet and it has over 1 million views. C.O. Bailey travels to Pusey's dad to apologize or to have him arrest him or to attack him or something, and Pusey's dad says, no, I'm not apologizing. You get to live with this for the rest of your life. And then, one of the best parts of the whole season, Piper and Alex are having a moment. You know, Alex is all sad with her arm broken and whatnot and this whole riot. And then Piper asks Alex to marry her and she says yes. It's the best moment of the whole damn season, really. The only, like, happy moment. When the governor finds out that it wasn't actually Tasty who let the hostages free, he decides, you know what, let the CERT team go in and attack and pull out all the inmates. That's it. Riot's over. No demands are being met. Goodbye. In episode 13, which is the season 5 finale, the CERT team is entering the prison with the goal of collecting all of the inmates. They go in with smoke bombs and stun guns and riot gear, and they are not messing around. They are getting everyone. They are having all of the inmates line up on their knees outside the prison so they can be accounted for. Pennsatucky ends up escaping through a hole in the fence and is hanging out in C.O. Coates' cabin, and also Chang escapes through a hole in the fence. Leanne and Angie set all of the prison records on fire, that way all of their infractions are gone. Nichols brings Tasty and her friends to Frida's bunker because somehow Crazy Eyes gets given lithium by Black Cindy when she realizes that she has been taking her drugs, and now Crazy Eyes is a shell of a human, so Nichols actually ends up stabbing her with an EpiPen to bring her back to life. But when Tasty sees Piscatella in the bunker, she grabs his gun and puts it up to his head, blames him for killing Pusey, even though it was C.O. Bailey who killed her, but it was Piscatella's fault that she died. The guards count the inmates and realize they're approximately 10 inmates short, so they need to go inside. And that's when Caputo remembers that the pool hasn't been checked yet, and it was supposed to be filled years ago, but Fig didn't do it because of budgets and stuff. So they send the CERT team in towards the pool to collect probably the remaining inmates, but they think that those inmates are up to something, which is why they are still hiding, so they are going to use any means necessary to remove them from the building. Red decides to free Piscatella. Like, she frees him. Goodbye. Go and be on your way, get out of here. That's it, you know, like, we're gonna free you because we're not gonna kill you, it's gonna, you know, do worse for us. Just get out of here kind of situation. And so he does. But as he is leaving, the CERT team actually ends up shooting him in the head, and he dies. He cuts around a corner, a smoke bomb's there, and boom, Piscatella's dead. The inmates are being shipped off in different buses, lots of friends are being separated, and couples are being separated. Nobody knows where they're going. The episode ends with Frida, Crazy Eyes, Black Cindy, Tasty, Red, Piper, Alex, Nichols, Mendoza, and Blanca all holding hands in the bunker, and a smoke bomb blows up, and they all look scared, and that's where the season ends. Let's go. I am so excited about season 6. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you hit thumbs up and subscribe. I've been making these Orange is the New Black recap videos for the past few years. You can see the other ones in the description down below. I hope they helped you out, and I hope you guys all enjoy your binge of OITNB Season 6 like I will. Once again, my name is Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.